Today we're going to be playing Death Faeology. It's being developed by Mushroom Mallow, and I am a huge fan of their games. They are really, really great at telling fantastic stories and creating these awesome characters. So I'm really excited to play Death Faeology. It is a mystery detective story, so I can romance jaded detectives, and I'm here for that because y'all know that's my catnip. The description of the game is, in a world where the Fae-touched fall prey to sinister killers, only a Faeologist can uncover the truth. A dark academia murder mystery visual novel with supernatural cases, interactive investigations, romanceable characters, and multiple endings set in the roaring 1920s New York. This demo is a revamped version of the original one that was released for Steam Next Fest. It does have 7 unique endings and 2 romanceable routes. The romanceable characters in this version, this iteration of the demo, are Theodore Krauss and Oscar Henkel. All right, new game. Grading first-year assignments can be such an exercise in patience. I've heard that. My dad was a math teacher, and I helped him grade, their tests. It was not fun at all. I ought to remind myself that Faeology is a relatively recent science, only a couple of decades old. Okay. This university, the only Faeology university in the whole country, was just finished being built in 1905. Oh. It's still barely acknowledged in the academic field. More importantly, I've got to keep in mind that children inherit their parents' prejudices and misconceptions, that part. The human world has formed its own notion of fairies. Alas, I find myself unable to suppress a big sigh every time I read references to poison apples ushering princesses into eternal sleep. A reference to the Cottingley fairies is one I can understand since it was quite the sensation not too long ago. Is that a real thing? Wait, it's a real thing. The Cottingley fairies are the subject of a hoax which purports to provide evidence of the existence of fairies. They appear in a series of 5 photographs taken by Elsie Wright, 1901 to 1988, and Frances Griffiths, 1907 to 1986, 2 young cousins who lived in Cottingley, near Bradford in England. In 1917, when the first 2 photographs were taken, Elsie was 16 years old and Frances was 9. The pictures came to the attention of the writer Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who used them to illustrate an article on fairy he had been commissioned to write for the Christmas 1920 edition of the Strand magazine. Wow, okay. So some real research went into this. Although it would be clear in the eyes of renowned Faeologists that the photographs are mere imitations. A pity that Sir Doyle was taken in by it. My beloved Oz, oh my gosh, it's beautiful and terrifying. It has a face, it has a man's face. Oh, the detail on this is such that it makes me just a smidge uncomfortable, just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just enough. I suppose having a fairy companion does give one an advantage in identifying genuine fairies. I'd say a break is in order, wouldn't you, Oz? Oz responds through trills that I've learned to interpret over the decades I've known them. The Cottingley fairies again. Yes, and Princess's eternal slumber due to poison apples. We don't care much for human princesses. I feel like Oz has a very deep voice, but making poison apples is rather an easy feat. That's disconcerting. Shall I turn one of them into a toad in front of the whole class to show that Fae folk are capable of more than that? At the same time, showing them that not all fairies are a friendly bunch. I can't help but chuckle at the thought of that. I believe some might just quit that same day if you do that. Besides, if other Faeologists get a hold of your existence, who knows what they'll do to you? Chances are high those people will try to pin you to a corkboard and vivisect you. Yeah, not a bad idea. I would never let that happen. I've always appreciated you pursuing Faeology to ensure that. This is the least I could do. We've known each other since I was 7. You've saved me countless times since then. Well, you could have let me bleed to death when you found me. I would never. I can hear a delightful melody of chirps laced with a touch of whimsy, which makes me feel just a tad fizzy. It seems that even the laugh of a fairy possesses some magical quality. While you're on break, isn't there something else on your agenda this afternoon? Right, Mr. Hinkle's letter. Thanks for reminding me. Dear Augustine, how long are you going to keep me in suspense? Will you or will you not accompany me to this year's Leos Gala? You could do a lot worse than forgetting your boring books for a moment in favor of whiling away an evening with champagne and what is that? I don't know. Food, snacks, and invigorating company. And when I say invigorating, I'm not speaking of those old sods with deep pockets ready to be exploited by way of funding grants for your research. I'm speaking, of course, of yours truly. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, this is Oscar? Hold on. Oh man, it's smooth. Do write to me sometime before Saturday. That's tomorrow's date, isn't it? Oh, I know, my delay in responding is entirely by design, I assure you. I'd hate to be getting the looks from the crowd like I'm a wet blanket. Theology isn't worth my dough, they'd say. Oz's replying chirp is decidedly indignant. I nod to Oz in agreement before returning to Mr. Hinkle's letter. In other news, I've heard that little Ruthie Blythe caused a minor ruckus in the city's hottest speakeasy. If your old friend Detective Krauss hadn't been in the area at the time as well, who knows what could have happened? I find myself rather perturbed at this revelation. I would have telephoned Ruthie and asked what the story was, like when we were children. However, for better or worse, we aren't on friendly terms anymore. Aww. I resume reading my patron's letter. Speaking of the detective, have the two of you been keeping in contact? You sound jealous. He gave me the cold shoulder when I crossed paths with him at last week's benefit. I couldn't help assuming that his persistently frosty treatment of me might have had something to do with you. It's unfortunate that the extensive bonds you have with him should end in a rather bitter taste. As you have told me more than once, when it was good, there was nothing else quite like it. Is this an ex? Yet you speak very little of him now, and I find myself wondering if he still holds a place in that guarded heart of yours. Okay, he's definitely jealous. The letter is signed, yours everlasting, Oscar Hinkle. That man is like pushing 70. He's not got long on this earth. I press a pen to a fresh sheet of paper to commence crafting a response. Just then, a familiar rhythmic rapping pierces the silence. I glance in the direction of Oz, but they're nowhere to be seen. Oz must have camouflaged themselves in a heartbeat. Come in, Minnie. Our assistant is gorgeous, beautiful, love the bob. One of the things I like about her, and also what makes her the bee's knees when it comes to being an assistant. Okay, one of the things that they updated in the demo is updating the dialogue so that it's more time period appropriate. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's here. Who? That police detective from the newspaper. Hell yeah. Police detective? Even as I echo these two words, there's a sinking feeling in my stomach. Please be Theo! You know, the man who made you crumple the papers and toss them in the trash can? In the end, we had to stop our subscription for the dailies. Detective Theodore Krauss. Yes, that's the one. Knowing Theo is here makes my world go momentarily off kilt. Why? It's as if by the magic of the fairy tales, I'm aligned. The ink in my patron's letter has manifested him into the reception area. Oh no. Can't you tell him I'm out delivering a lecture on the far side of campus or something? That depends. Is a lie like that going to deter this man? An astute question. She is truly wise beyond her years. Probably not. He'd happily traverse the entire campus just to torment me, I'm guessing. All right, let him in. Yes, give me my detective. Gimme. I barely have time for a steadying breath before Theo barges in. Oh my God, he looks so angry. He is my type. I'm sorry. There's just something delicious about these like world-weary, jaded, tired-looking detectives. Maybe it's the 5 o'clock shadow. Maybe it's the permanent scowl. But oh, it just does something to me. I love them so much. Well, look who the cat dragged in. Not even a how do you do. What? Do niceties suddenly mean something to you? Ooh. I seem to recall you packing your bags and moving out without so much as a goodbye. Oh, we were together! Why did we let the snack go? There was no one to say goodbye to. Oh, damn. Did you find out I left only a few days later? At least it made it easier for you to leave, didn't it? Oh my God. There's a tinge of hurt in his voice that I'm only able to pick up because we lived together for several months. As my mouth struggles to catch the words hanging in the air, I feel the piercing, icy silence creeping in. What's in the box? Your things that somehow you didn't take with you when you left. Not my stuff! Sir. I see the corner of his mouth twitch. He's lying. What should I do with this information? We'll go with the box. I quickly stretch out my hand to the box, yet he is just as fast in catching my wrist before I can open it. I withdraw my hand from his grip swiftly, like a startled bird soaring into the sky. That truly caught me off guard. I'd forgotten what his hands feel like. I bet they're rough. Rough and big and strong. I was only kidding. Although you really haven't changed much, have you? He's smiling. Look at that smile. You just went straight for it. He sounds amused and slightly pleased, as if he just confirmed the accuracy of one of his deductions. Neither have you. I threw all of it away right after you vanished. He says with a subtle squint in his left eye, another lying tell of his. I can't help but sigh at his antics. Of course you did. So what's really in the box? Want to take a guess? I do have an idea. Knowing him, he'd sooner face the whole Al Capone gang by himself and take their bullets before coming to visit me. This must be way more important than our poignant history. Case evidence? I've seen boxes like this one before, but never one quite so large. It's a really big case, isn't it? The biggest of my career. And to come to me, of all people, you must be at your wit's end about this. He looks away as if trying to hide how galling the circumstances at hand are. Truth be told, I'd rather face the whole Al Capone gang and take their bullets than have to see you again. Wow, we read this man like a book. So why would you? Hold on a minute. You think this has some sort of connection to fairies? He flicks his tongue in exasperation. We stopped talking about fairies at some point when we were still together. Those talks always led to a heated discussion and then to arguments because nothing I could say could change his skepticism towards mystical beings. This is certainly the chance to tease him about it, though it might be unwise considering the emotional peril he must have gone through to get here. What should I do next? I'm gonna tease him. Oh, this must be killing you. Mr. I don't believe in things I can't see. He lets out a loud and sharp exhale, this time with a touch of indignation. Dry up, will you? I still don't believe they exist. Okay. I've been running around in circles with this case. For all I know, the perpetrators could just be magicians playing tricks. But then I remembered the crazy stuff a loony of the formerly betrothed once told me. And my hunch got stronger. He must have been under a lot of pressure if he talks a blue streak like this. The case must be beyond big. My mistake. I guess I got a little carried away there. So what makes this case so significant? Why do you think it relates to fairies? Are you even allowed to tell me? I hear the sound of a chuckle under the breath, like a bolt from the blue. And he smirks like that. For a brief moment, his gaze on mine seems to revert to how it used to be, until the seriousness returns to his face. First things first, since I'm leading the investigation, I do have some discretion on what details to divulge into whom. This is if the confidant can bring value to the investigation. And I've known you for a fact that you can be discreet. Still, I must ask your sworn secrecy on this matter. You got it. So tell me about this case. Why does it seem to be of paramount importance? It's a multiple murder case, potentially perpetrated by a single culprit. Ooh, a serial killer. The victims are chiefly middle-aged women residing north of the city. Okay, so I'm safe. They're from old money families, the type that make regular appearances at high society events. I see. No wonder you're all tensed up. You're telling me. Chief took me off every other case and insisted I put all my time and effort into this. It's only a matter of time until the press catches wind and makes a circus of everything. And with some of the victims' peculiar manners of death, I swear I must be losing my mind. 3 of the victims had a manner of death that the unit has never seen or heard of before. Okay. The strangest case is the one where the body seemingly hardened into bony tissue overnight. Her corpse almost looked like a carved wooden statue. Oh, I've heard of something like that before. Of course you have. Without finding out what caused these deaths, and more importantly, who did this, the press could spin the stories out of control. I don't want to imagine the look on the victims' families' faces if and when the papers are making a razz of these poor women's deaths. Besides, what kind of depraved sick bastard goes around murdering women in such a way? This man's kink is arguing? Yes it is, and I'm here for it. People shouldn't have to look over their shoulders every night. It's no way to live. Even as he lapses into silence, I say nothing. It's not just the city. The rise in crime is bleeding him dry, too. Yet, I'm unsure of what words could soothe those who are fighting it on the front lines. I've never been where they are. The frown lines between his eyebrows grow deeper. You know, considering the victims' backgrounds, having these murders being exaggerated in papers would pressure the families to insist on closing the case as soon as possible. No matter the cost. No matter who is to blame. You're right, innocent people are going to bear the brunt for this. This is a terrible situation. I feel my stomach churning. My arms cross on instinct, trying to hold my own disquietude in place. Is there anything you can do? I'm just one man. He is just a man. Try as I might, I can't keep those rotten police brass from lining their pockets. Nothing but a pack of lowlifes in high places. He exhales sharply, his voice laced with contempt. Then he fell into silence yet again. Similarly, words seem to have abandoned me, as I can't shake this feeling of helplessness crawling under my skin. After a minute, he meets my eyes once more. Well, you're a good listener. Better than most. He curls his lips into an almost smile. I don't mind it at all. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. This box includes case files, crime scene photos, a couple of blood samples, which I was able to request to bring to you, and several other pieces of evidence. Other than the strange manner of death, I've said forensics was puzzled too by the blood samples. How so? One of them doesn't contain iron. That is interesting. Nothing surprises you, does it? Well, about this peculiarity. I'd bring up something from my fairy books, but you'd always find a way to deny it. You're right about that. I'm still investigating the possibility of unknown drugs or poison that somehow caused these oddities. But I'd be a fool to not go after my hunches and look into all possibilities. What about robbery? It's ruled out. No fingerprints, no evidence of breaking in, nothing had been stolen. And motives? Revenge? We're still interviewing the city elites, looking for the possible motives. But it takes time. You know how it is. Yes, of course. They're very busy. Speaking of city elites, I know people who can be very helpful in getting some inside information. His expression turns sour at full tilt. He's like, if you bring up Oscar, I swear. Who? That man? I said people, but yes, that man would be particularly helpful in this matter. He scoffs brazenly and doesn't even try to hide it. Even at the first meeting with Mr. Hinkle, there was some inexplicable tension between the two. Theo said something about Mr. Hinkle feeling off and always hated it whenever I had something to do with him. Yes, because he knew he was after his woman. Though it might just be jealousy in disguise, that part. You know I'm right. Even if he's barely in the newspapers, he's most likely at the pinnacle of high society. And I don't think he'll mind if I ask him a few things about this. Why, of course, he's always got a soft spot for you. Hell, he's probably carrying a torch for you for a long time. Judging by the way he follows you everywhere, okay. Green is not your color, sir. Well, he happened to be interested in Faeology and has a lot of money to allow its development. Look at you, all ready to defend him. I didn't say anything crazy. What are you two, an item now? Are you jealous? I might have steered this reunion right back to where we were months ago by bringing up Mr. Hinkle. But it was necessary to mention him. I don't know anybody else who would have had that much information about high society. Besides, there has never really been anything, even if we did go to fundraising events together from time to time. It was strictly business. Yet again, Theo seems to lose his reason whenever we talk about Mr. Hinkle. I don't have the time or the energy to argue with him. I think he's more logical, so I'm gonna go with explain the truth about the relationship because he is a detective. Trying to make him see reason is not going to work because we've tried that before, clearly. That's why we're broken up. So explain the truth about the relationship with Mr. Hinkle. We're not anything. We go to fundraising events from time to time, but these are work. I've got to get money for my research from somewhere, you know. Our relationship is strictly business. He gives me a dirty look. Are you kidding me? Sure, I believe you. No, you don't. Besides, what I do with him is none of your beeswax. His voice becomes even more irritated. That's right, it's not my concern. Do whatever you want with him. Oh my God! Just make sure he can keep his mouth shut about the case. I can't help but groan at this turn of events. Fine. While we're on the subject of useful allies, you mentioned before about blood that doesn't contain iron. I can take the blood samples to the university's chemist. She's good at what she does. And she's from a rich family. She might know some of the victims or their families at least. I'll trust your judgment. I take it this is you agreeing to help with the case. That's right. There are lives at stake. He let out a soft smile, as though in quiet agreement with what I said. Thank you. Aw, he can smile and look soft. I feel like he's not all bristles. Well, if you think it'll be helpful, you can even ask the people you mentioned what they know using the evidence items. But the case files are for your eyes only. Understood. He has fallen silent somehow, leaving an uncomfortable hush in the air once more. Suddenly, a realization comes to mind. Does this mean you'd be willing to hear about fairies? About Faeology? That depends. If this was indeed fairy doings, and if, through your investigation, you can provide solid theories on 3 things, the culprit, their methods of murder, and their motives, supported by evidence, of course, I'm sticking with the idea that there's a logical explanation, an earthly one, for now. Fair enough. I'd wager that no. We have approximately 24 hours to get some sort of answer, an answer that makes sense. I can feel the papers are close to getting the story. While you're investigating this lead, I'll look further into unusual drugs and poisons. How about it, Faeologist? Do you dare take on this challenge? I accept the challenge. Bring it on, detective. This brings a grin to his almost consistent brooding expression. Good. If you need anything from me, just ring me. Aye, sir. But you need to promise me that you'll not just hear me out, but also keep an open mind on fairy topics if I succeed in what you ask. But I can't promise not to scoff from time to time. Okay. That's good enough. I ought to get going. Maybe this will be an opportunity for you to increase Faeology's credibility in the eyes of the academics. Maybe. Seems like some detective has been following the tiny part of Faeology in the newspaper. Says you. I love that smirk. It's so sexy. The one who had to stop the daily paper subscription just because some detective kept getting the headlines. Okay, screw you. How do you... Before I could finish, he had walked towards the door and opened it. See you tomorrow around the same time? Hey! I find myself slowly drifting into thoughts. A victim's manner of death, hardening into bony tissue, could be one of the fairy curses, ossification. If only I could ask Oz whether a fairy was behind this, and which one, but it's not that simple. Even if they are my longtime companion, fairies have their own rules about exchanging favors, and they are secretive about their land too. A favor like that doesn't come cheap. At least I'm stocked up on milk and honey for small requests. Speaking of requests, I should get started on a reply to my patron's letter. Dear Mr. Hinkle, I hope your recent forays into high society have proven more fruitful than they have in... Should I be hyperbolic? More fruitful than they have been in the centuries you've been roaming amongst their lavish rakes. Jesus Christ! Believe it or not, I have been considering whether the merits of trying to impress the wealthiest folks of the city outweigh the obvious indignities. You first brought up the possibility of my accompanying you to the annual Leo's Gala a couple of months ago, and I'm still weighing my options. How do I want to play this? Be coy! You shall know my answer definitely if you find me on your arm on the evening of the event. About Ruthie, I can't say I'm surprised to hear about her latest flirtations with disaster. Since we were both toddlers, she frequently found herself in trouble. Her fiery personality certainly doesn't help her get out of quarrels. I would love to telephone her and ask how she's doing, but we drifted apart a long time ago. Nevertheless, I'm glad to hear that Theo was there to smooth things over for her. I've now arrived at the topic of Theo, or Detective Krauss as my patron refers. I suppose his query was meant to uncover whether I still care for Theo. How should I answer? Sometimes my thoughts wander back to him. He and I are old news. Absolutely not! Sometimes my thoughts wander back to him. I murmur under my breath as I write. As for Theo, I must be honest that sometimes my thoughts wander back to him. However, such thoughts are fleeting at best. Damn. I have not a single moment of regret over the decision to end it. Upon signing off, I seal the letter with wax. I then turn towards my trusted Fae. Oz, can I please trouble you with something? You want me to deliver this letter to your patron, don't you? Indeed, time is of the essence here. As always, please take care not to catch anybody's attention. He'll see it by tomorrow morning, I'm sure. Thank you, Oz. I'll see you later today. Bye, Oz! I watch as Oz flits out of my office window and vanishes. One of the Fae is gone. I call my assistant to my office. Yes, Professor? Hold on 1 second. I rifle through the contents of the box. Carefully, I extract the blood samples that Theo mentioned. They appear to be stored in test tubes. Would you mind asking Dr. Raeford to analyze these blood samples? I'll do that, sure. As I hand the samples to her, I notice that she looks like she wants to say something. What is it, Minnie? How'd it go with the detective? If you don't mind me asking, are you jealous too? He's the same as always. There's lingering beef, of course, but we've sort of managed to put it aside for something more important. He has brought me a rather significant case that he suspects might have some supernatural elements, as hard as it was for him to admit it. Oh, good for him. I'm glad it didn't end in a shouting match, at least. Yeah, me too. I'll deliver the blood samples now, Professor. Thanks, Minnie. I should start the investigation right away. Let's see. So let's look at this one. And let's put her photo here. Oh! Why can't I open it? Audrey Woolridge, age 51. Manner of death, hardening into bony tissue. From afar, the corpse looks like a carved wooden statue. Time of death is 1:48 p.m. Victim profile, an affluent middle-aged woman in the city. Okay. The victim reported hearing strange noises and seeing strange phenomena in the days immediately preceding her death. Okay. The interviewing officer suspected, due to the victim's strange behavior, involvement in occult matters. Forensic report, no traces of drugs or poisons from what could be extracted from the body. Further autopsy is still in progress due to the victim's manner of death. Yeah, how would you autopsy a body that's been petrified? Okay, well, let's look at this. The first victim's crime scene. This is the first time I encountered something that could be ossification. I feel sick to my stomach. No one deserves to die like this. Something's odd with her fingers. What? Oops, not that. What do you mean? What's odd with her fingers? I don't know. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's put the photo over here. Some Faeologists have applied Darwin's theory of natural selection. Beneath a special black light, some species of butterfly can glow by having a chemical known as phosphorus. Okay. Similarities of fragind to insects. One magical skill possessed by some Fae is transfiguration, which is similar to metamorphosis. Wielders of transfigurative spells can make themselves or fellow Fae take on another form. Okay. Fae factions, the scribes and the warriors. The scribes are known for their defensive magic and their intelligence. The warriors are known for their power and their offensive magic. Okay. Meanwhile, the low Fae faction is comprised of Fae with limited parasitic magic. They are wildly malign species that like to consume human blood. That's important. The histories of Fae class conflict is not well documented, okay? All Fae kinds seem to be weak against iron, although a small amount of iron, such as meat or blood, does not seem to ward off fairies. Historically, cold iron is often forged as weapons and used to repel fairy magic. The intricate use of iron combined with physics and chemistry is applied by Faeologists to develop special black lights to detect and distinguish the magical essence of 3 main types of Fae. Okay. Beneath the black light, scribe magic appears blue, warrior magic red, and parasitic magic purple or violet. Okay. Sustained blacklight illumination on an object imbued with fairy magic may reveal intricate details of certain complex spells. Interesting. Okay. There's a ring. Whose ring? Well, I guess it's purple! I'll put the ring back. Susan Moore. Susan Moore, age 40. Manner of death, refusing to drink anything but her own blood. Time of death was 11:03. Oh my God. Did they all die on the same day? An affluent middle-aged woman in the city. The victim's mother reported that the victim was suffering from a prolonged paranoid episode in the days leading to her death. Specifically, the victim was acting erratically and saying strange things. Despite the manner of death, there are no signs of dehydration or hemochromatosis, no traces of drugs or poison. Blood does not contain iron. Is the person a changeling? Because I don't think they're a real person. Oh, wait. Let's look at this photo. Yeah! That's ghastly. Yikes. This seems to be the second victim's crime scene. Her complexion, it's not quite the pale hue of death, far paler than should be possible, almost drained of color. Something's odd with her fingers. Oh, the ring! Well, oh my God, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 fingers! Ah! That's terrifying! What the hell? Wait, let me look at the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She had extra fingers. They all have extra fingers. Oh my God. Maybe they're not people. Maybe they're Fae. Edna Niblet, 64 years old, gnawing her own fingers down to the bone. These are gruesome. 10:10 a.m. An affluent middle-aged woman in the city. A friend of the victim reported that she visited the victim's residence to drop off an invitation shortly prior to the victim's death. The friend also wanted to check on the victim's well-being, as she had allegedly been acting strangely at a party the night before. Oh my God. According to the friend, she witnessed an emotionally charged conversation between the victim and a young factory girl. However, the friend didn't think much of the interaction at the time. At the crime scene, the invitation card dropped off by the friend was seen close to the victim's corpse and was taken in as evidence. No traces of drugs or poison. Blood type unknown. Other blood-related investigations are underway. Blood does not contain iron. I don't think these were people. I think they were Fae. Alright, Mary Hatcher. Alright, Hatcher. Where'd my thingy go? Age 19. Okay, this is an odd one. Everybody else was in like their 40s or 60s. They were middle-aged, but this was a 19-year-old girl. She young. Death from shock due to arsenic poisoning. Time of death, 6:15 p.m. A young factory girl. Oh, so this is the girl that the third victim was fighting with. Despite not fitting the trend of the previous victim profiles, she has been preliminarily included in the case because she was seen having a heated conversation with the third victim shortly before that victim's death. The victim's father described her as not acting like herself in the days before she passed. Shortly before her death, the victim visited the police station. According to the interviewing officer, she seemed to be on the brink of confessing something when a look of terror suddenly crossed her face. She then appeared to change her mind. She probably saw a fae. She hurriedly left the station without saying anything further to the interviewing officer. Prior to death, the victim suffered from violent abdominal cramping followed by diarrhea and vomiting, consistent with the effects of arsenic poisoning. Traces of said poison can be found in blood type A and the glass she was drinking from near the time of death. Blood contains iron and other elements commonly found in human blood. Okay, so this person is clearly a human being. The rest of them, not so much. Okay. Let's look at these photos. Niblet. Ew! Gross! It's the third victim's crime scene. Ew! Her fingers. I've seen corpses before, but never like this. I can't look at this. There's another strange thing about her fingers. She has extra fingers. Ah, okay, we're done. We've looked at the stupid picture. Hide that. Don't need to look at that again. No, put that one on top. Let's look at this girl's picture. It's normal. Fourth victim's crime scene. Poor girl. It's a cruel thing to see youth being stolen so abruptly. That's all we have to say. Who are these people? So this middle-aged woman in the collared blouse is the victim. I guess this elderly man in the suit is her father. This elderly woman wearing the cardigan is her mother, I suppose. Seriously? The bespectacled man is perhaps her brother? Okay. So it's that victim? Question mark? I'm just putting all this stuff on the desk. All the stuff. Oh wait, no, it must be the first one. This must be the second one. So this middle-aged woman with the pearls is the victim. Okay. And I guess this elderly man with the facial hair is her father. The elderly woman with the fur coat is her mother, I suppose. This other man in the darker suit may be her brother. So Audrey Wooldridge and her family. Okay. So I was right. Susan Moore, which is... So that's the first victim, which I was right. And then Susan Moore. So we have family photos of the first and second victims. An old coin. I know. Don't some fae leave coins? Oh no, where's my... Ah, here it is. I've never seen a coin like this. It looks rare. It was in the third victim's pocket. So this was in Edna Niblet's pocket. Okay. What's this? I've seen this makeup powder somewhere recently. It's from Nectar Bell. This must have belonged to one of them, but which? I wonder if the owner likes the box design and carrying it around in her pocket since it's already used up. Perhaps the chemist has some interesting insight since her family owns the brand. The coin, though. Wait. Oh! It's burning! What the heck? It glowed red. Oh my god! Ew! Ah! It's a bug! Okay. This is a parasitic fae. A failed transformation magic. Can we put it away? Yep, just put that right back there. Dead fae. Oh my god, do I actually have to inspect it? Ah. There's no mistaking it. The structure of the thorax, antennae curvature, elongated legs, they are exactly the same as the parasitic fae I cataloged several months ago. What happened to you, poor fae? It's dead now. Of course, no response is forthcoming. All right. Let's, yep, you're done. You're done. Thank you, friend. Lacks one of its wings. The missing wing was likely ripped out before its death. Or we burned it. Okay. Beneath the black light, the ring has almost violet and some red traces of magic. Okay. From the second victim. So, Susan. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. There's something on the hands. You're right. Oh my God. Khadijah. What's that? It's blue. Now I must check them all. Wait a minute. It was him, though. Oh, wait. Both of them. What's on their hands? What about his? He doesn't have anything on his hands. Or, yeah, what the hell? That's weird. Move. Oh my God. The mystery. It just gets more mysterious. This little fella was in the pocket of the second victim? I don't want to look at him again. Right, like this is a fairy conspiracy. That part of the wing was red. And this is blue. Or purple. Huh. Okay, fella, we're done. Can I not look at it anymore? I don't want to look at this book anymore. Make it go. How would you tell? I love that she could tell that it's a fae, but like, I would never be able to tell the difference. No, changelings! I was right! I was right about the changeling thing though. There are unconfirmed rumors that some high faes like to capture human beings and bring them into fairyland for purposes such as forced reproduction, servitude, ritualized combat for their amusement, and so on. That's weird. Due to the complexity of the fae magic required to create changelings, the enchantment almost always goes awry. Anomalies common among changelings include extra fingers or an extra toe. Nearby heat conductors such as small metallic objects have also been known to repel or warp the magic creating changelings. Look at me! That's really messed up though. The finger thing is real messed up. I don't want to look at it anymore. Let's end the investigation. A knock on the door makes me glance up from my desk. I realize the sun has set while I've been absorbed in the investigation. Come in. Dr. Raeford has arrived to drop off the blood samples and she wants to talk to you. Already? Yes, she's just out the door. I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised at her work speed. Okay, Florence is a fox too. Okay, very mature woman. Dr. Florence Raeford enters. It has been only 3 years since she has worked at this university, but she has proven her reliability more often than not. Good evening, Doctor. Dr. Raeford hands over the blood samples. She also gives me her lab report. So what have you found? The most peculiar thing is that there is no iron in one of the blood samples. Say, is this fae related? Her question prompts me to ask myself, to what extent of this case can I divulge to her? Theo did say I may ask the patron or her for information using some of the evidence. Although she has knowledge of fairies and their curses, can she handle seeing a crime scene photo? As I return from my thoughts, I notice her voice has taken on a higher pitch. This is exciting. Okay. Are you working with the police? Oh my gosh. Does this mean that we'll get better credibility in the eyes of the public? Oh my, we're going to be in the newspaper, aren't we? It's good that she's excited about the possibility of advancement for Faeology, but her cheerful disposition can sometimes be rather overstimulating. This specific sound is familiar, more familiar than when my assistant knocks. It's Oscar. Are you the special delivery, Oscar? Mr. Henkel's hands are empty. And what, pray, might you be bringing for me? It is you. Are you the special delivery, Mr. Hinkle? If you wish to call me special, then I certainly won't stop you. Oh my god, this man is a flirt. But I did bring a box of huckleberry muffins for your office. Oh, that's nice. Minerva was instantly enamored by their buttery scent. She's currently feasting on them. We can only hope she'll leave a muffin apiece for the rest of us. Oh, hello, Florence. I didn't expect to see you in this office. She does not seem happy to see this man. Fancy seeing you here. Although you do have a habit of making this office your sole stop on campus. That's just because this is where all my money went. Bleed 'em dry, sis. A well-spent investment nonetheless. He makes a retort at Dr. Raeford, but throws a subtle smile in my direction. How cheeky. So Florence, what's been occupying your time as of late? She looks at me briefly, possibly wondering whether she could tell him about what she did for me. The usual matters, I suppose. I tried asking your father about you at the last soiree. However, he confessed he didn't have the faintest idea. You must tell me more about your chemical research one of these days. The colorful pursuits of you young academics thrill me to no end. You know, I can't share all that much, Mr. Hinkle. Unless, of course, you find yourself in the position to become the chemistry department's benefactor. Then all their secrets are yours. Get that money, sis. Get that money. I'm afraid I'm all tapped out, financially speaking. No, you're not. Oh, I'm not buying that one. Not for a second. He's telling fibs, isn't he, Professor? Well, now, I certainly don't want to get in the middle of the money talk of the rich. I wish I had that information, Doctor. It would make proposing for research much easier, with a bit of delicate leverage naturally. I feel I should ask the reason he's here before this conversation takes an odd turn. On another note, Mr. Hinkle, did you get my letter? Is that the real reason you dropped by? Upon recalling that I asked Oz to insert the letter into his mailbox only this afternoon, I'm about to retract these questions. Unexpectedly, though, he bows his head in assent. Your words have always had this immersive impact on me. Oh, he is such a flirt. Perhaps that is why you are such an effective educator. Whenever I encounter your written language, I long to hear it spoken post-haste. Okay. This man is sprung. Are you putting a spell on your letters by chance? Sir. Simmer down. I think you're the one with all the spells, Mr. Hinkle. Your muffins, for one, have always been successful in getting Minnie's guard down. Oh dear, you two are making me blush. Okay, Florence, you are a third wheel. Out. I suppose it's time I take my leave and let you both be. I'm due somewhere shortly anyhow. Oh no, that might not be necessary. I can't stay long either. Mr. Hinkle lapses into silence as he continues staring into my eyes. It's difficult to maintain eye contact with him, but even harder to look away. He is a very distinguished gentleman. I can see why. I wonder what I should do. I ought to discuss the case, but both of them seem to be in a hurry. Should I tell Mr. Hinkle to return another day, since I need to have an important conversation with Dr. Raeford right away? Or should I dismiss the chemist and meet with my patron now? Whom should I interview? Decisions. I'm gonna go with the chemist. It seems the chat has voted for chemist, so we're gonna go with Raeford. Dr. Raeford, would you mind staying a little longer? I'd like to hear your opinion about something. Dr. Raeford glances at me, then at Mr. Hinkle, and then back at me with a glimmer of mischief in her smile. Are you sure, Professor? I let out a resigned sigh. Sometimes it can be quite difficult to deal with her teasing. Yes. I'm not sure, but sure. When I address my patron once more, I regret colors my tone. Mr. Hinkle, would you mind coming back another day? I have something crucial to discuss with the doctor at present. Of course, I understand your scientific pursuits precede all else. I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you for dropping off those muffins. He only replies with a smile. I'll see you soon, right? As soon as possible, I promise. I'm alone with the chemist again. Doctor, I might need your further assistance regarding the blood samples, and also something more pressing. So it is true you are working with the police. I suppose Detective Krauss consulted me this morning about an ongoing criminal case. Oh, do I sense some old flame flickering back to life? Shut up. There is a hint of disbelief in her eyes, but I won't indulge her playful teasing as there is a more important matter at hand. I clear my throat. So, I would also like to ask you for information, as you may be acquainted with some of the victims or their friends and families. Okay. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you, although I do need your sworn secrecy on this. I'm adept at keeping secrets. You need not worry. Those samples I analyzed are part of the evidence in this case, right? Let us begin. I tell her the fundamental facts of the case while she listens silently, all the while. When I finish my summation, she has only one word to say to me. Interesting. Okay. So I can present evidence to her. Okay, let's look at the blood. Edna Niblet's blood. What about it? The most intriguing piece of evidence. It's weird, isn't it? That it doesn't contain iron at all, even though it looks just like human blood. So this is Edna Niblet's. Not to mention the high percentage of phosphorus. Would you let me know if it ended up being fairy after all? Only if I'm allowed. Is there any insight from chemistry as to why there would be no iron in a red-colored blood? Sadly, no. I'm just as puzzled myself. Right, isn't iron what gives it the red color? This is Mary Hatcher's blood. I found traces of arsenic in the blood sample. That was reported by the forensics team too. One wonders who could have done such a thing to the poor girl. Actually, chemists do sell arsenic to common people to make their own weed killers and rat poison. I haven't done that in some time, not since the university contract. But I'm sure the detective has asked his henchmen to collect purchase records from chemists all over the city, don't you think? It's valid. Lab report. Okay. I've done my best to put all the details there, although I might have missed something regarding the curious blood sample. Ask about, here it is. I'm like, can I not ask about this? My parents' greatest achievement. It's one of the things I wanted to ask you, Doctor. I don't know much about makeup. How popular is this powder among high society? The powder has been the craze lately among the upper class, since my parents have successfully gotten Mary Pickford to do its advertisement. Isn't Mary Pickford an actress? In the pictures, the talkies. Well, I guess they were silent movies at this time, right? 1920s? Well, I'll be. Let's see. So we've got some new information. How about this? This is Mrs. Moore and her family. Could you tell me what you know of them? Well, I've heard that when Mrs. Moore's biological parents passed away, she was adopted by her parents' trusted employees from whom she received a lot of love. She's adopted. These employees couldn't have children. Her biological parents left her a substantial inheritance, which she received when she came of age. Then she was married out of love to a wealthy entrepreneur. They were hand in hand wherever they went. It's a sad thing. Her luck seemed to slip away just when she needed it most. Dr. Raeford seems to know more about Mrs. Moore than she let on earlier. While she sounds quite sympathetic, I can somehow sense a hint of jealousy in her voice. Okay, so the photograph consists of the family members, the victim, adoptive father, adoptive mother, and victim's husband. Which explains why the husband didn't have the markings on his hand. He wasn't a part of that. Interesting. So the husband wasn't a part of it. And this is the first one, Susan Moore. All right, let's ask about the Woolridge family. This is a family photograph of the Woolridges. Ah, yes. It was everywhere in the papers when her father married the famous and one of the most beautiful socialites. The other man there is Mrs. Wooldridge's stepbrother. Not the stepbrother. Do you know anything about these people? Aside from being fabulously wealthy and well-known, not particularly. Okay, so this is the victim, her biological father, stepmother, and stepbrother. So the family ties, blood ties. So the father and her having the marks on their hands makes sense because they're blood related. If it's a Fae touch bloodline, then it would make sense it would touch them. Got it. But in this case, it's just her because her family died. Now, it makes me question her family dying. Did she wish her family dead? Because that's the only reason they would all die like that. Okay, wait, let's see. My, are you proposing to me, Professor? No. I'm afraid my heart still belongs to my late husband. Aww, that's so sweet and sad. I can hear sorrow seeping through her peppy voice. Quietly, I slipped the ring back into the box. Aw, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up something sad. You know what? I'll show her one of the photos. How about this one? Mrs. Moore? She recognizes the victim quite fast this time. We've met once or twice at a clothing store and exchanged a few pleasantries. Occasionally, I would see her and her husband at various dinner parties as well. They were a lovely couple. Okay, so she's okay with crime scene photos. Oh yes, I know her, although I can't seem to recall her name. Mrs. Niblet. That's right. I saw her quite often at the auction, only going for rare coins. Which explains why the coin was in her pocket. It's all coming together, guys. As usual, the winning bid was hers. I wonder if some of those coins carried some sort of curse, since they came from God knows where. Alright, what about this one? There's no sound to be heard as she stares at the photograph for a little while. I wonder if this is too much for her. Is this Mrs. Woolridge? It's a little difficult to recognize her because of she speaks with her usually sunny lilt, which is quite surprising. I guess she has got a strong stomach. Yes, you're correct. What do you know of her? Everyone knows her and her family, that's pretty sure. They're one of the richest in the city, the elites of the elites. Accordingly, their circle consists only of very selective people, such as your patron, I imagine. Oh, and their family likes to host charity events. Did you ever know her to dabble in the occult? Unfortunately, what I told you previously is all I know about her. If she did dabble, do you think maybe her manner of death is a result of occult matters? It's certainly a possibility. Oh, this one. Do you happen to know this girl? Unfortunately, no, I don't know her. It's surprising that she seems rather unfazed by quite the gruesome photographs. I wonder if she had seen worse deaths caused by chemicals. Although, even if I had seen worse, I doubt I could muster such cheer. I've never realized this peculiar side of her. Have you ever showed her dead bodies before? Because I don't think you have. Because you've seen all of these. What about that? A dead bug? Is this part of the evidence? I've shown her everything I can. I think we're good. Yes. I have no further questions. I believe I have enough information for now. Is that so? Well, all right. Dr. Raeford then departs from the office. I'm alone again, but not for long. My assistant pops into the office. Oh, bye, Minnie. Is there anything else I can do to help? No, I'll be fine. I think I'll stay and work for a bit longer. Okay. Have a safe trip home. Upon wishing me the same, Minnie leaves. Okay. I have some time until I have to wrap up my work today and head home from the office. Okay, so investigation part 2. So now the lab report. This is Dr. Raeford's lab report on the blood samples. The content is quite similar to the forensic report. While elements similarly found in human blood, such as phosphorus, carbohydrates, and some proteins, are found in the third victim's blood, it doesn't contain iron. Moreover, the amount of phosphorus found is in a higher percentage than it is in human blood, making it possible for this to be the blood of a fairy. The fourth victim's blood appears to be normal human blood, with iron present. Traces of arsenic are also found. Although there is some new information, I had expected the report to be more detailed. Then again, I did ask her to finish it as soon as possible, and she delivered. Oh, let's look at the blood. I've read somewhere that most insects don't have iron in their blood. Interesting. Black light! It's purple! And red! And this is Mary Hatcher's blood. There's also more of it. Like, there's more of the human blood than there is of the Fae blood. Okay. No surprise this powder has been all the rage with the upper set. They managed to get Mary Pickford for the advertisements. That must have been where I knew it from. Probably. She had it coming. If you'd have seen it. So the middle-aged woman in the collared blouse and the elderly man in the suit are father and daughter related by blood. The other two are the stepmother and stepbrother. I think we've got everything, question mark? The only thing I can think of is the Fae Encyclopedia. So it has to be something it's like reddish purple. So there's warrior and parasitic Fae influence somewhere in this. She's clearly a Fae. She's a changeling. I think there's something about changelings going on here. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like it has to do with changelings. I think this is it. I think I've investigated everything I can. What do you think, chat? I feel like I've got everything. Like, I can't think of anything else that I'm missing. Maybe I am missing something. Who the hell knows? I doubt it, though. Let's see. I think I did it. I think that's it. Right, okay. Okay, cool. It's the next afternoon. I should be grading assignments or reviewing the lecture I'm going to deliver come Monday, or do anything productive in the realm of professional duties. Instead, I find my attention straying more and more towards the office door. I voice my frustrations to good old Oz. Theo will probably arrive at any moment. I can't stop wondering whether my explanation will be enough for him. In the past, no sort of explanation ever seemed to please him when it came to fairies. And why should it do so now? My voice cracks with concern. This time, he came to see you bearing in mind the possibility of fairy involvement. He'd be a fool if he discredits you so soon. My fairy companion's chirping becomes increasingly stern this time. But you need to get yourself together. You must remain steadfast and strong when facing the detective. Don't permit your voice to falter when presenting your findings. I know I can't let myself unravel at this point. It's just that he's never solicited my opinion quite in this manner. A professional insight, no less. All the more reason to be as calm as you can be. Maintaining your composure is essential to delivering a persuasive argument. But no matter what happens, at least you know you tried. At least, at the end of the day, he's the one who needs to solve this case. You're right, of course you are. I'm not a detective, I'm simply a professor sharing my perspective. Thank you, Oz, for always talking me off the ledge. Just then somebody knocks on the door. That's my cue to sail past your window ledge. Best of luck. I whisper a hurried goodbye to my fairy friend. I'll see you tonight, Oz. Bye, Oz. Hey, baby. Hey, baby boy. How you doing? Theo paces around a little bit after strolling in. He appears quite distracted. He finally stops and opens his mouth. So, what have you learned? I take a deep breath. Here it goes. I have to present my findings to perhaps the most sought-after detective in the police force. Theo investigates cases right where the crime scenes unfold. He's agonizingly familiar with the grit and the grime of the city's darkest recesses. Meanwhile, as a professor, my expertise primarily revolves around the nebulous and theoretical. I must do my best to stay calm and collected, just as Oz suggested. I've read the case files. Victims' odd behaviors shortly before death could be due to hypnotic spells from fairies. The fourth victim went to the police station, but before she said anything, it seemed she saw something that scared her away. What if she saw something not human? And the manner of death? He interrupts me before I can finish. I've no time for assumptions. The papers telephoned our department this morning, said they found out about some of these deaths. So that's why he looks agitated. The chief is preparing a statement for tomorrow regarding this. So I'll just cut to the chase. Is there fairy involvement? Yes, I'm certain of it. I can tell his interest is piqued. However, I'd like to first lay out the basics since I'm pretty sure you've discarded the things I've told you in the past. He grumbles as if in admission of my statement. So far, we've identified 3 classes of fairies: warrior, scribe, and parasitic fae. Warriors have strong offensive magic, scribes' magic tends to be defensive, and parasitic magic is, well, parasitic. We Faeologists have developed a tool called blacklight to detect traces of Fae magic. It can even be detected through photographs if the magic is especially strong. Warrior magic glows red, scribe magic blue, and parasitic magic shines purple. I find that seemingly fairies of one specific class are behind this. Which one is it? I think it's warrior. What's the evidence? Fudge. The blood. I slot the blood sample beneath the blacklight to show the magic traces. Okay, good. Okay, we're good. So you see the glow of purple and red under the blacklight. How do the purple traces, or parasitic magic you say, have a part in this? I think the blood is fairy blood. That's because this blood is fairies, and their blood contains traces of their own magic. This is further purported by the blood sample analysis. Fairies' blood has high content of phosphorus, just like reported. Adding to that, the missing iron. Fairies have an aversion towards iron. They don't have it in their blood. They can still, however, withstand the iron in human blood. That's why some parasitic fae like to drink our blood. What the hell? So wait, are vampires just fairies? To be honest, I'm out of words at this moment. What else you got? The dead bug, because he's gonna ask about the coin. How does this prove warriors' involvement? I put the dead fae beneath the black light. This is a dead parasitic fae. Look, it glows purple and red under the black light. Oh yes, it's right. I take it their bodies still glow even after they're dead. Correct. It takes a little while until their magic is fully dissipated from the corpse. That's messed up. It honestly looks just like a normal bug to me. Hold on one sec. I turn to the shelves and pick up one of the boxes containing deceased insects from my ongoing research. I open the lid and show it to Theo. I found this one dying just yesterday. It died shortly after. Swiftly, I put it beneath the black light. A normal one doesn't glow, you see? Theo's expression is a blend of amusement and bewilderment. Okay, that's interesting. And how does it end up here? The failed magic, because it was a coin. The parasitic fae that got warped by a coin due to transformation magic going awry. The coin in the evidence turned into this when I put it under the blacklight long enough, essentially revealing what it really was. So the third victim, Mrs. Niblet, what about her? Mr. Hinkle said she has her numerous coin collections displayed in all the rooms of her house. Mr. Hinkle, I haven't spoken to him, so no, he didn't. That particular coin must have been nearby when she met her fate. I see a feeling of unease reflected in Theo's expression as he stares at me. I need a moment to digest all of this. That's fair. I nod and take a moment to arrange the box neatly before placing it back on the shelves. What else do you got? The ring. How does this prove the warrior involvement? I place the ring beneath the black light. Okay. Khadijah, coming through, friend. But why does it glow purple as well? Alright, I think it's number 2. That's because the ring is part of the transformation magic. When the parasitic fae is transformed into a changeling or human look-alike, high fae magic is able to copy everything, including Mrs. Moore's wedding ring. I mean, we were all wrong, but we were kind of right. There's sudden silence in the air as Theo's eyes widen in consternation. What the hell are we dealing with here? He mutters in a voice that is filled with dismay. There appears to be strong evidence pointing towards warrior involvement. Based on what you've shown me, parasitic fae are one way or another connected with the manner of killing. But you also haven't told me how the warrior fae killed the victims. Give it to me straight. How do you figure the murders were carried out? Okay. We're dealing with some wild shit, homie. Like, that's the only explanation we can give this man, and he would be so mad. He would storm out if we said that. I think it's number 2, because the fingers, the 6 fingers, they're changelings. It's clearly changelings. So I think they switched them out with changelings and killed the changelings with ossifications and hallucination spells. Yes. The warrior high fae used their transformation magic to turn parasitic fae into human lookalikes of their victims, which are often called changelings. I take out the crime scene photos with the middle-aged victims and lay them out on the table. Using the magnifying glass, I show the oddity in the victim's hands to Theo. This is one of the possible anomalies that is likely to happen due to the complexity of transformation magic used in creating changelings. As famous as these ladies' families are, it would have been a big thing on the papers if they had 6 fingers from when they were children. That part. I don't seem to remember anything like that in the newspapers, do you? No, me neither. Theo looks away as though trying to remember all the newspapers he has read. It also explains the missing iron in the blood sample since the corpses are not human. I wait until Theo meets my gaze again before continuing. They then murder the changelings using ossification and hallucination magic. It's done to cover up what they really did to the real humans. What they really did? Like what? It can be anything. The real humans might be kidnapped to the fairyland, destined to wed certain fairies and bring forth offspring, but they're like in their 60s. Or be employed as slaves. Probably the second part. Or tortured for the amusement until they die. Wow! Delightful. Theo appears to be unsettled by the same thought as well. Hold on, are you saying that they might still be alive? There's a chance. Yet the realm of the fairies is still an enigma, even for those who study their kind. The Faeologists at this university have barely met any living fairies. You're aware of how fresh this field is within academia, aren't you? It pains me to admit that I genuinely do not know how to get them back. I will keep trying nonetheless. We both fall silent, as though a heavy weight had settled on our throats, refusing to budge. We can also look at this case from another angle. The motives. Based on your investigation, what could be the rationale behind the warrior fae's actions? It's difficult to pinpoint the reason why the fairies do what they do, since they don't follow human rules or morality. However, I found that Warriors are targeting people blessed by scribes. Yes, it explains the marks on their hands. Because their families got something from the Fae. And I don't know why the warriors are targeting these people, but it has to do with the scribe Fae. The three middle-aged are blessed by scribe Fae, shown by the sigils on one of their hands. I say as I hover the blacklight on top of the family photographs one by one. I mentioned before that especially strong magic can be seen even through photographs. He answers while taking the blacklight out of my hand and checking the sigils himself. 2 sigils light up on Mrs. Woolridge's family photograph and 1 on Mrs. Moore's. The sigil is a sign of being blessed by one of the scribe Fae, usually given when someone has done a very special boon for a scribe. It gives good fortune and is passed down through the generations. As you know, the middle-aged victims and their families are old, rich families that have stayed on top for many decades. That's how strong the magic is. Mrs. Moore was adopted. That's why it's only her who has it. Her late biological parents hailed from a distinguished and affluent lineage. Theo points at the face in Mrs. Woolridge's photos. And he's the biological father, while the other 2 are step-family. I'm positively sure that should we check into Mrs. Niblett's family photographs, she and her children would display the same sigils. I'll see what I can do. Oh, and it's also meant as a warning for others not to harm the marked human. I guess that warning didn't work in this case, did it? No, it didn't. Well, I suppose this does make sense, and it's a pattern. This might be targeted murders. He then casts a glance my way with an air of satisfaction around him and breaks into a smile. Oh, we got praise! Good job! My considering how rarely he gives commendations, this sounds like a compliment of a lifetime. I can feel my confidence is going through the roof. Thank you. Lastly, what have you found on the poor girl, Mary Hatcher? The chemist's report is similar to the case files. The blood is normal human blood, traces of arsenic. I didn't find any signs of fairy magic from the evidence. She mentioned that you might already be collecting purchase records from chemists all over the city. We're still investigating whether someone has a link to the girl. The chemist's parents own a cosmetic company that produces the makeup powder in the evidence. She said it's popular among upper-class ladies lately since they've gotten Mary Pickford to do the advertisements. He picked out a small notebook and a pen from his trench coat and started writing. I love that trench coat. I'm not sure if this is useful. Every scrap of information counts. I ought to note down the things we've talked about today as well. Your findings really threw me for a loop. I forgot to take notes. Of course, take your time. While Theo is writing, I tidy up my desk and put the evidence back in the box. Anything else you got? That's all I have for now. He puts his notebook and pen back in his coat. He heaves a sigh so heavy I can believe he has the weight of the city on his shoulders. Even so, when he looks at me, there's a glint of something that wasn't there before. This fleck of illumination is all the more stark since we've started this discussion. It's hope, perhaps. A tiny, delicate thing is blooming in this room to counteract the overwhelming darkness and despair outside. I always knew you were clever. Oh my God, stop flirting with me. But I have to say, you've outdone yourself this time. I'm impressed. From start to finish, you were able to line the evidence perfectly with your theories. Everything makes perfect sense. I can't believe he's saying all this. I'm feeling like $1,000,000. Thank you, Theo. It means so much coming from you. Haven't I always told you you'd make a good detective? Yes, he has. It feels nostalgic all of a sudden. Feels like such a long time ago. That got a smirk out of him. Well, we've still got our work cut out for us. But at least for now, innocent people won't get thrown in jail thanks to you. I just need to convince the chief and the papers. Though, with your findings, it sure would make it a lot easier. If anyone can pull it off, it's you. Even with that ragamuffin look, there's something about you that makes people listen to you and trust you. Well now, you did fall for this ragamuffin. I love him. And how do you know it wasn't your how do you know it wasn't your constant brush with danger that drew me in? Oh, I know. Shut up. I'm short of a comeback for once. He knows just how to catch me off guard. All of a sudden, the playful glint in his eyes disappears, replaced by a serious stare. Listen, I might have to bring up your name in my report. I can't predict how the papers will handle this, but it's possible they'll mention you and Faeology. This is good for your field, of course, but it could draw unwanted, dangerous attention your way. I'll be fine, Theo. I can protect myself. This is what the field needs. Indeed, you're more than capable of taking care of yourself. I know that very well. I do appreciate you worrying over me. Theo's concern seems to fade, and he lets out a sigh of relief. Well, this day's certainly been a ride. He glances at his wristwatch. I've still got time until I have to get back to the station. Fancy a drink with me? You can tell me more about fairies. I'll listen with way less judgment this time. Just like I promised. Yes! You know what we should toast to when we drink? What? We should toast to being a good team. Yes! We're a team, are we? Aren't we? Or at least we should be. Your knowledge of the fairies is exactly what we need to make sense of all this mess. And it's not just that. Your talent for investigation is as impressive as they come. If you act as a consultant in a high-profile case like this, you'd be handsomely compensated, of course. Imagine what those funds could do for your Faeology research. So what do you think? Would you ever consider joining the investigation in an official capacity? I'll consider it. A job! Ah! We have to go on drinks with Baby Boy! Detective duo! Ending 1! Hey! It's another afternoon in the office. My patron has stopped by to discuss a research project that I've been considering. Now that Faeology might get increased credibility, especially with the police, I think we should examine the prevalence of strange deaths caused by fairies, don't you think, Mr. Hinkle? The police might agree to help us collect the data. I'm not so sure about that. Oh my gosh. It would take time for the police to trust us to that extent. Besides, wouldn't it be more pressing to focus your research on warrior phase? Oh, Theo! Before I can respond, 2 individuals suddenly barge into my office. Sorry, I tried to stop him, but couldn't. Even though I've told him you're in a meeting right now. What's eating you, Theo? Theo doesn't so much as glance at Mr. Hinkle. He unfurls a rolled up newspaper from the inner pocket of his coat. He hands it to me. Oh no. At a glance, I can see the phrases, fairies are real, evil is afoot, and fairies killing humans spelled out in bold, oversized letters. As I begin reading, my patron peers over my shoulder to read as well. It's not the chief statement that made the front page. It's another bizarre murder, and this time the victim is a beloved celebrity. She danced until her body gave out. They wrote out all the excessive grisly details connected to her death. Moreover, the reports surrounding the other homicides have been thoroughly sensationalized and exaggerated. They've depicted fairies as evil enemies of mankind, and in some parts, they've even insinuated that war between beings is brewing. Are you kidding me? I need to put the paper down for a moment. This is truly awful. I've already checked the crime scene. The details of this latest incident look similar to what we've uncovered from the previous murders, though it's still hard to make heads or tails of this. Oh my gosh, I thought we were done. It's very difficult to grasp their motives, but judging by the methods and frequency, I have to say this is significant. Something big might be going on in the land of the fairies. As the conversation unfolds, Mr. Hinkle appears to be deeply in thought. I need you to check something really quickly. Theo gives me a photograph of the celebrity. Knowing exactly what he wants, I retrieve the blacklight from my drawer and examine the photograph closely. Both Theo and Mr. Hinkle peek over my shoulder to see. A sigil, the same one as the other 3 victims. I suppose we can now establish that these are targeted murders. Oh, although the 4th victim, Mary Hatcher, doesn't have a sigil, does she? Did you find anything more about it? Theo shakes his head, leaving behind a troubled look. Nobody in the purchase records has a strong link to the girl. We're asking around here and there. The girl was a saint. Everybody loved her. Her squabble with Mrs. Niblet is the strongest lead we have. A striking realization dawns on me. What if a fairy transformed into a human and purchased the poison? What? They can do that? Yes. If they could do all the other stuff they did, of course they could, sir. Oh yes, detective. Although, when a fairy shifts into a human shape, they cannot assume the identity of someone already living. Your culprit may well be a name on the list, but one that doesn't truly exist. Oh. Theo flinches at Mr. Hinkle's input, clearly having dismissed him as part of the furniture. Wow. Theo. All I get from Theo is a shrug. Surprisingly, he turns towards the patron. From what I've come to understand, fairy magic is more than capable of doing the killing. They've no need for poison, but I won't discard the possibility. Well, that's certainly a rare occurrence. Theo goes back to ignoring Mr. Hinkle and talks directly to me. I should mention that I've gotten permission for you to check the crime scene. Come with me tomorrow. I'll see what I can do. Okay. I'm leaving the newspaper here. There are more articles about Faeology that you should read. Without so much as a word of goodbye to Mr. Hinkle, Theo turns and leaves. I pick up the paper again and continue reading while Mr. Hinkle silently reads alongside me. The field of Faeology is indeed mentioned quite markedly, but its loyalty to humankind is under scrutiny. Although the police chief spoke of our help, the papers continue to raise doubts about our involvement in these killings. Is the Faeology University a friend or a foe? Oh no. No! Ah! Danger! Oh, that was so good! I had so much fun with that. Oh my gosh, there are 6 other endings you can get. I'm a huge fan of Ace Attorney, so looking at evidence, putting the clues together, and coming up with a theory is super fun for me. I also love the romance element. I love Theo. He is absolutely the type of guy that I love going for in these games. A world-weary, jaded detective, and with the added bonus of being an ex. So there's history there, and we can rekindle that relationship if I do well enough, maybe. Then we have an older gentleman who is trying to woo us. Man got money, power, and he's not bad to look at, even though he's like 90. Here for it. And this was so much fun. I want to know more about Faeology. I had a lot of fun, like, playing around with the point and click investigation stuff and the evidence and putting all the clues together. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh. Guys, play it. Go play this game. I want to say a huge thank you to Mushroom Mellow for reaching out to me about this demo again. I'm so glad I got to play it on stream with you guys. This is exactly what I love to play. I cannot wait for this full game to come out. I love everything that Mushroom Mellow does, so definitely check it out and check out their other games like Eda Cafe and damn it, I forgot the name of that game again. But all of their games are great. They're also working on Otome, so check that out too when a demo is available. We'll definitely play it on stream. All right, thank you all so much for coming through. I hope you had fun with Death and Faeology. I did. If you want to kick it with me away from Twitch, you can find me on my socials. I am most active on Twitter and Blue Sky, heavy on the Blue Sky, Instagram, and my site, Blurdy Otome. You can also find me on YouTube as well. I put up VODs and video reviews occasionally, so please, please, please check out the YouTube channel as well. Subscribe and like and watch some of the videos, please and thank you. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods, and I will catch you all in the next stream. All right, y'all. Bye!